Sabyasachi Saha, your reading of the enthusiasm. So we see markets, they've reacted positively. The NDA is reacting positively. The opposition says there's tremendous skepticism because we still do not have details. How do you read this?
Ordinary, because so far we had kind of certain concerns how to go about the US trade deal, but I think the strategic patience, the leadership of the Prime Minister, the government's own effort has led to dealing with such a situation where we had to face immense trade barriers in the US market. Even as we talk about diversification, US would remain a very, very important trading partner for India for multiple reasons. And at this point, the way we have regained the confidence among the political leadership, as well as strengthening the trade linkages. It is absolutely the numbers that have come in, the tariff commitments from the US side. So all this definitely signal stabilizing trading relations with US again, and definitely markets were waiting for such signals for a long time. The sentiments had to be boosted, and I think the trade deal at this point looks very, very positive development for India.
Is that also your reading, Mr. Ahluwalia, that this is very positive, markets reacting positively, but a word of caution, we still do not have details as the opposition points out?
Yeah, no doubt about it, Gaurav. I think absolutely extremely positive. I would not personally worry so much about what the opposition is concerned about, as in what are the terms that the US is going to get. Trade is a win-win. Even if the US gets good terms, it's benefits to the Indian consumers. If we have segments that are going to be concerned, like farmers, like dairy producers, we should protect those people directly instead of protecting products, right? It is never sensible to protect products. We should protect people. We can give direct benefit transfers. We can help them out in other ways instead of blocking trade. So that's not what I would worry about. The thing that we have to watch out for is implementation. Implementation is an extremely crucial thing. We've seen Donald Trump go back on South Korea and say, we are going to cancel this trade deal, right? Because they're taking too long to ratify it. So implementation is going to be extremely important, both in terms of ratification and in terms of how our customs deals with goods coming in from the US, deals with goods coming in from the EU, because that is one reason that we have failed to take advantage of trade deals in the past. It's that our customs still creates issues at the border, even though there is a trade deal between the two countries. But other than these two aspects, I think this is fantastic news. EU, US, both happening. These are the biggest trading blocs in the world by far. There is nothing else that even comes close. So we should absolutely feel very good about this at this point in time.
That's a very positive note, in the morning, that we should feel fantastic or we should feel very good about it. Professor Saha, is your reading, considering India-EU deal, negotiations finally done, may take 6 months to a year to put pen to paper for it to be implemented on ground? Do you see the same kind of time frame when it comes to India-US deal also?
No, I think since this has been announced last night by the leaders of the both countries, and we definitely had a very long-run process of negotiations with the US, and the concerns that were raised. At the same time, this has been a very, very intense process. So I think here on, it should not take a very long time to come to a implementable framework on both sides.
Okay, Badrin Narayan, in your view, and wearing your legal hat, what are areas that India can be happy about, that it's a big win for India, and what are areas that you would be concerned or skeptical given the limited information in public domain?
I think a few areas I think India will be very happy about. One is going to be textile, others going to be toys, and areas such as chemicals. I think those will be areas which automatically I think everybody will be very happy about. I am a little bit concerned about areas like steel and aluminium. These are big exports by India. As you know, India always faced various custom duties, anti-dumping duties, safeguard duties across the world when it comes to our steel manufacturing. And as you know, we have overcapacity of steel manufacturing in India. And generally, the world goes ups and downs when it comes to steel. It's a very, very big commodity. Other area could be automobile and automobile exports and automobile parts. Again, we'll have to see how those are going to be played out in the future. We'll need more details with respect to that. Then will be other areas such as pharmaceuticals. I'm hoping that healthcare is one of the areas where US wants to reduce its impact from a price perspective, and therefore it'll encourage Indian pharma. But that's one area where again there could be an impact. We'll have to see how the details churn out. So I think these are the areas that I feel are concerned. I think US, I think the benefit that they're going to get is I think they're going to do more transactions with us on high tech. So their interest is selling nuclear reactors, giving us Boeing planes, defense, which typically we've gone towards France or Europe. I think that US would want to supply to them. And I think India is quite happy to pick it up. I think that's really going to be there. The one sore area, which is probably going to be something that we'll have to look at, is going to be agri. Okay.
Yes.
India protects its agri, US protects its agri, but it's an area where both the countries have tried to get access to the other countries. US has always been, for US, it's very important to sell things like soya beans, and other agri products to countries like India. India has resisted traditionally because India has been self-sufficient, and the cost arbitrage is not that various. There could be
Rahul
certain
Ahluwalia,
areas will
Rahul
be there,
Ahluwalia,
but I think mostly
you
there will be
agree
areas.
with that? And before I come to you to respond to this, because a trade deal, while it's called as a win-win, it's win some, lose some. Is that how you look at a trade deal? Now, when we look at what is in it for India, there are those who say it's easier access to the US market. Is it at the cost of strategic autonomy, as some argue? The opposition is already asking, why is it that the Americans are now making announcements for us, whether we buy oil from Russia or we buy oil from Venezuela? Are we losing that strategic autonomy? We have, of course, lower tariffs on our exports. That's a big gain, and especially when it comes to not just MSME, but also textile, leather, large labor-intensive market. But is losing Russian oil a disadvantage for India, or getting cheaper Venezuelan oil offsets that? Rahul Ahluwalia, where do you stand on this?
Look, on this strategic autonomy question, I mean, we anyway are doing what we need to do, right? So the US is the world's largest economy, most technologically advanced economy. They are opposed to our largest adversary, which is China. We have been clearly signaling that our strategic doctrine is to be closer to the US for at least 10 to 15 years now. And I don't think that there is anything wrong with that. It makes sense. It is in our strategic interest. Russian oil is an extremely sort of minor thing. It is anyway now as expensive as other oil. It's not that Russian oil is coming at a big discount. Russia is a country that has not been growing. It has in fact been shrinking for the last many years. It is not a country of the future. So are we sacrificing our strategic autonomy by doing what we anyway want to do, which is to align with the world's most powerful and economically large country? No, I don't think so. I don't think that this is a sacrifice.
That's a very powerful point that you make, Rahul Ahluwalia.